Disagree if you want, but Man of Steel is the best Superman movie. Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder, and is the very first movie in the DCEU, as well as being the second Superman reboot after Superman Returns. Now, I'm reviewing Man of Steel today because Wonder Woman came out this month, and I just realised that Man of Steel is currently the only DCU movie I have not yet reviewed. If you want to check out my Batman vs Superman Suicide Squad reviews, they are right on my 2016 reviews playlist, and I just recently uploaded the Wonder Woman review, and I will be wearing my Superman cape for this review especially. So Man of Steel tells the story of, it's the classic origins coming of age story of Superman that we pretty much saw in the Christopher Reeve Superman era, only done slightly differently and even more interestingly, in my opinion. Superman's an outcast, he's an alien on Earth after the destruction of Krypton, the death of his Kryptonian parents, and the betrayal of General Zod, and so Clark is struggling to find his place in the world, and after Zod returns and vows to get the Codex and destroy Earth, wipe out all mankind and make Earth into a new Krypton, Superman and his love interest Lois Lane must battle Zod and save humanity, as Superman must decide between two homes, Krypton or Earth. So yeah, Man of Steel is a movie I will forever defend for the rest of my life. This, at the time, was by far my favourite movie in the DCEU. Well, now that's Wonder Woman, of course, but now this is my second favourite DCU movie. I know this movie caused a huge amount of controversy, and everybody has totally different opinions on it. On Rotten Tomatoes, it currently has a 57%, so half critics loved it, half hated it. But I have always been in that minority as somebody who loves Man of Steel. Man of Steel is by far my favourite Superman movie. I am not afraid to come clean about that. I am not denying that the first two Christopher Reeve Superman movies are in a masterclass of their own. They are just classics, both of them. However, Superman 3 was disappointing and forgettable, and Superman 4... The Quest for Peace. Oh, scratch that, Quest for Shit is one of the worst movies of all time. And I know people did like Superman Returns, but I hated it as well. I just thought it was a completely pointless, awful reboot that I'm not surprised it didn't get a sequel. So I only consider 3 Superman movies to be great. Man of Steel being the third, and even being put above Superman 1 and 2. Yeah, this is just an epic movie. I'm glad Man of Steel got the Dark Knight treatment. If it worked for Batman, and it recently worked for Wonder Woman to give them an epic, coming-of-age story, then why not do it for Superman too? And it pays off. Yeah, this is possibly tied with 300 as well as my favourite Zack Snyder movie. Say what you want about Zack Snyder, but he's the perfect director for a Superman movie. This is his kind of movie. It contains a simple, focused coming-of-age story and monumental action. Yeah, that's one of the things I love about Man of Steel. It doesn't have oddly structured subplots and set up for Justice League, unlike Batman vs Superman. It's way more grounded and focused, narratively speaking. It's the Superman origin story in the first half to a awesome action movie in the second half. If you have come to this movie to witness both of those things, you are going to be rewarded with them. And Henry Cavill, regardless of what people may think of him, I believe him to be the best Superman since Christopher Reeve. Yeah, the dude he looks like Superman, and he's the most badass version of the character too. Yeah, he's the Superman that we finally get to see actually fight bad guys, which we never got to see with Christopher Reeve, which is a great change. And Amy Adams portrays a fantastic, really solid Lois Lane. I love her as an actress, and her romance with Henry Cavill, they show so much convincing chemistry. It's not necessarily a romantic movie. It's not a Lois and Clark story, unlike the original Superman, but the romance is still prominent here and a very important part of the plot. So since Amy Adams is Lois Lane, she's not just the damsel who has to be saved, unlike the original Lois Lane. She is actually involved in the action. I always wondered why Zod wanted her to come on the ship, but that was to give her something to do. Russell Crowe may be a hit and miss actor, but this is the kind of movie he should be starring in, because he is great as Jor-El, and he does occasionally appear as a hologram to give us Superman advice and inspiration, though I never understood why didn't he just make a hologram version of Superman's mother, Lara-El. Oh well. Kevin Costner is perfect as Jonathan Kent. So yeah, his two father figures greatly inspire him to become Superman. And what makes his death so powerful is that Superman could have easily saved him, but Jonathan chose him not to, as that would be exposing his powers to the world, so Jonathan decides to just let himself be killed in the tornado. Diane Lane as Martha Kent is so lovable and sweet as his mother Martha. Michael Shannon is really underappreciated. He goes all out. He made Zod. Zod is a villain who believes he has to go to extreme measures and destroy Earth for Krypton's survival. Yeah, he's amazing. You get his motive, you get his goal, and the fact that he kills Jor-El creates a lot of conflict between him and Superman. And I'm glad they didn't just use Lex Luthor as the villain for this movie. I'm using Zod as the villain in Superman's first solo movie was a great change. And Faora is also one of the scene stealers of the villains. Yeah, she is not to be messed with. I repeat, not to be messed with. So yeah, amazing antagonists. I love every character. It's one of the finest casts assembled for a comic book movie. And Man of Steel, it's an absolutely beautiful film. Zack Snyder's movies, Zack Snyder's visuals look glamorous and spectacular, and it's not just eye candy. The visuals help elevate the story. Yeah, the flying sequence is well worth the price of admission. That scene blew me the fuck away when I saw that in the cinema. Yeah, I was sitting there in awe. I couldn't believe how awesome it was. Yes, this is the Superman movie we've been waiting for. Even if you weren't a fan of the movie itself, it's impossible not to praise Hans Zimmer's fucking phenomenal score. The theme of Man of Steel is so iconic and captivating and totally awesome. When you hear that theme, you cannot mistake this movie for any other. The dun 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 dun. That is the next Superman theme, along with John Williams's dun 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 dun. And there are beautiful melodies in the soundtrack. I just absolutely love this score. Why didn't it win an Oscar? And the opening on Krypton is criticised as being drawn out and too long, but I beg to differ. We needed to spend this much time on Krypton to know more about Krypton and the Kryptonians, so that we care when Krypton does get destroyed. Because in the original Superman movie, we spent like 5 minutes on Krypton before Krypton blew up. Here, that it happens in literally the first 20 minutes, which is just right to have a thrilling opening action sequence to the destruction of a planet that we've spent enough time on to know who everyone is and care when they all die. I wouldn't have minded spending even more time on Krypton. It's a sci-fi extravaganza. And the flashback sequences in showing Clark growing up on Earth, it's very Batman Begins like. This movie could be basically just be titled Superman Begins. But the flashbacks are one of the most interesting parts of the movie. They're extremely well made, wonderfully engaging. The fact that it has the idea of Superman being an alien, because of course the original movies just portrayed him as a human on Earth, whereas here he's an outcast. He's having to just hide his identity and hide his powers all the time. I love how the film shows how that's so difficult for him. And when we finally get to the action sequences in the second half, which takes up pretty much the entire third act of the film, wow, just wow. The action here is off the scale levels of awesome. It is some of the best action I've ever seen in a film. Yes, that's a bold statement, but I believe it to be true. Just the scale of the action here is absolutely unrivaled to any movie. The Battle of Smallville, the Battle of Metropolis, it's just you couldn't have asked for a better final act for this film. We have been waiting and wanting to see Superman finally punch somebody and fight somebody, and with today's technology, they're finally able to deliver that in a way that the Christopher Reeve Superman movies could never do. And the conflict in the fighting is Superman is fighting to save the adoptive world he's always known, and they do actually show him saving innocent civilians. They don't forget that. And the Zod's team are trying to destroy Earth to save Krypton, and people say that there isn't any substance to this fighting. Well, I see plenty of substance, and to those who criticise the amount of casualties in Metropolis and the destruction, well, that is gonna happen when two godlike beings do battle in a city. At least we don't see any civilians get killed, so we can't assume that. And the final fight with Superman and Zod is one of the greatest fights in any movie I have ever seen, period. Yes, it lasts longer than most fights, so it's not rushed, and it's just astonishingly creative. And it's a fight to the death. It delivers the emotional punch. This fight was like eating my favourite ice cream and pizza. It gave me all that in one go. So I call bullshit on the people who say there's too much action. You complain when superhero movies hardly have any action, but when they do give us the action that you require to enjoy it, you still complain. Regarding the most controversial scene in the movie for everyone, Superman killing Zod, well, apparently the alternative ending was to just send Zod back into the Phantom Zone, but come on, that would have been so boring. I think this ending works way better, and come on guys, why are you defending Zod? Just screw Zod. Superman didn't have a choice but to kill him. He would have murdered that innocent family if he hadn't. So Man of Steel, it's a fucking source. I love the shit out of this movie. Even if I liked Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, I can see the hate for them to an extent, but not Man of Steel. Man of Steel for me is one of the most underrated superhero films of all time. It's not quite Dark Knight Rises or Wonder Woman great, but boy, it's a practically perfect start to the DCEU. I give Man of Steel 5 stars out of 5. Well, that's the DCEU covered for now until Justice League. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of Man of Steel? Please comment, let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. And please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And please follow me on Twitter and on Google+. And I'll see you next time when I have a special review coming. What is it? You'll soon find out. I'll see you then. Bye, guys.